Hey everybody, how are you doing? It's Sunday, and we are going to celebrate an Inter Miami win that happened just yesterday. So welcome to the show. I am your host, Peter Brown. This is Football Miami TV Weekly, and as always, you know I can't do this show alone, so let's say hi to our buddy. Let's say hi to Uncle Ed. Say hi, Ed.
How you doing, downtown Peter Brown? Man, I am so excited, Peter. We got to see that game, and man, I was excited. At least the first half was nuts because we thought there were so many more goals. But yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit more in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna talk a lot about that game. Also, we're gonna have to talk some about the upcoming game against Redbull, and then on the weekend they have Philadelphia. So it's another busy week for Inter Miami. And so I made the title of the video: Can we win 2 in a row? Right. So let's see. I mean, so I want to kind of get in and dig in a little bit on what we saw yesterday. I think there was a lot of good things that we saw. But before we do that, let's say a big thank you to our sponsors. First off, let's say thank you to Caneswear. Everybody, if you have not gone to Caneswear, I don't know what you're waiting for. Caneswear has a great selection of Inter Miami fan wear, as they like to call it, and they got some of the best prices in town as well. A lot of things are marked down. And so it's a great place to go. If you're anywhere near Broward, go into the store in Davie. And if you're not near Broward, if you're watching us from anywhere in the world, you can go to Caneswear.com. I mean, I know some people from out of state have bought some things from Caneswear. So go to Caneswear.com and any orders over $99, they ship for free. So good job there. And let's say a big thank you to Vargas Law Group. And I got something I want to share about Vargas Law Group right after we this quick promo. But this is our lawyer for any immigration questions you might have. A lot of us in South Florida have had immigration issues, whether it's you yourself or somebody in your family. I mean, there's so many immigrants in South Florida. His services are invaluable, right? So go to vargaslaw.com, talk to Federico, and mention that you saw this on Football Miami TV. So thanks to Vargas Law.
Yeah, and Peter, there was something you were going to say also about a giveaway we're going to do.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to before we welcome everybody in the chat. So we want to award anybody or a group of people, or you're going to get an opportunity, right? For those people that reach out to Federico at Vargas Law. So here's what we're doing. If you contact Federico at vargaslaw.com or go on to that phone number that's in the bottom of the screen, and you get a consultation, immigration consultation with Federico, we are going to take your name down. He's going to do that. He's going to take your name down, and we're going to put all those names in a hat. And at the end of this month, so you just have, 2 weeks. So at the end of this month, we are going to pull a name out of that hat, and we are going to give away an Inter Miami authentic jersey to one lucky winner. So what you're doing is you're entering for a chance to win. So by contacting Federico with with an immigration issue that you may or may not have, or that you may have, not have, right? That you may have. You're going to get a chance, and it's going to work out great because we're gonna get that jersey from Caneswear. So it's like we're going to give love to both of our sponsors.
Yeah,
so
a lot of love everywhere, and love to you guys because we want to give you guys something to support our team who's been winning. Peter Brown.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited because of that, but. First, I think I should start mentioning some of the people in the chat room.
I think you should.
All right, Peter. Well, we're going to start off with Alex Z, who's already won something from us before. It took me forever to get it to him, but he got it.
Right.
He's the first guy that was on here today. I'm not sure exactly what time. I didn't get in as I get on. Sometimes I get in, and there's people like half an hour before.
Nice.
They're already waiting in the chat. So that's, we appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, of course.
We also have Jose Velasquez, who's in here. Thanks for watching us, guys. Isaias Maldonado is also here. And our good friend Kevin Gonzalez, he went to LA with us. I saw him there. We can't do it without, somebody that knows about law is Judge Dredd the Law.
But what side of the law is that on? I mean, I've seen the movies.
Don't know.
I mean, it's I am the law.
Yeah, I think he's a little,
hardcore, a little hardcore on that, right?
Yeah. He's judge, jury, he's everything. So we got Diego Garcia is also with us. One of Peter's favorite names, Jet Pancake, is with us as well. Yeah. And we got our good friend Diego Garcia is on here. People are already talking, back and forth. There's good conversation going on in the chat. Federico Vargas, our good friend lawyer, he always gets into it with Judge Dredd. I don't know if you've noticed, Peter.
No, I haven't.
They're always talking law. So yeah, we got Johnny Velasco. He's here as well. Our buddy Eric Thomas. He's the one that gave you that name, Downtown Peter Brown.
Is he? Is that Thomas. Where it came from?
That's where we got it from. Yeah. That's where I got it from anyway.
Okay.
We got Ruby. Ruby Yolo is also on board. We saw her last night. She was, happy because we won that game. That was awesome. And who else we got here? Luis Rodriguez is with us as well, Peter Brown.
All right.
One world, one goal. She's always supporting us. We love her. She's the best. She still needs to get us that interview with Diego Serna. Who else we got? Chris Menendez is also on board. And so far, that's it, Peter Brown.
All right, man. That's a nice roll call. So welcome, everybody. And Judge Dredd says, the Stormtrooper looks neat. I want it. Well, is that going to have to be a giveaway as well? Do I have to start giving away some of my pop figures?
No, we're going to have to probably do something like that. I mean, people probably, I love them too, Peter. I wouldn't mind winning. I will create my own, some other name on YouTube, and I'll try to win it that way.
It's funny is I have, and I'm, no secret, on this show I've talked about having moving, and so during the pandemic I moved, right, and then we changed the tile, so it's almost like you're moving into the house twice. I literally just now, I've been in this house for over 2 months now. I've just emptied out a storage unit. And in that storage unit has a lot of my little pop figure collectibles and those little Funko figures that you see behind me. And man, I got a ton of them. But thinking about those, you're familiar with those little figures, right? Funko.
Course, yeah.
I love them. And also because they're cool, but they don't take up a ton of space. So I think they're cool. How they have big heads, small bodies. How cool would it be if there were Inter Miami pop figures?
That'd be cool.
I mean,
definitely
think about
giving them away.
MLS needs to strike a deal with Funko because I don't know if Inter Miami would strike a deal with them, but imagine MLS. So you get 1 or 2 players from every team or something like that. You get your stars on there. For us, it might be an Higuain as he's one of our future stars, right?
Pizarro,
right. But you could technically have a whole MLS all-star pop figures. I just gave them $1 million idea right there. I would buy the heck out of those. I would even probably buy teams that I don't support just because I would want the full collection.
Right. Yeah, but you probably wouldn't buy anything from Orlando, would you?
If every team is represented and I want to do a full collection, I guess I would have to. I just might have to you stand him upside down on his head or something like that, or in that case you put him in some sort of setting, right?
Mock game or something.
Right. So you have him knocked down and he's crying on the floor or something complaining that somebody breathed on him or something.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense.
Right, because Orlando and all that.
Yeah.
But Peter.
Yes, sir.
I'm really excited because we have a very positive record against Atlanta. We have not lost to Atlanta.
Nice.
We've got their number so far.
Yeah. This year, so we got lucky. Atlanta's not good this year, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, you can't, right? I guess it's fair, right? It's fair in love and war, right? That the team that we thought was going to be easy, Orlando, not so easy. The team that we thought would be complicated and difficult, ends up being the easy team, right? In Atlanta, it's things have been flipped. It's like a topsy-turvy, upside-down world. It's like Stranger Things right here, in MLS this year. Things are all flipped around. Atlanta's, working with an interim coach, and, they've gotten rid of their best players. And so we're fortunate that we're getting to play them when they're down. But at the end of the day, you can only play the games that are put in front of you. And so those are the games you definitely have to win. And they won.
Yeah, and it's really cool because after a very long time, when you finally, of course, we social distanced, we watched the game together. So that was pretty cool.
So yeah, I gotta say, Ed, we went to an event hosted by Southern Legion at a local Mexican restaurant. It was a very unique experience, right? I mean, you and I, we wore our masks the entire time, just pulling it down long enough to take a sip of a tasty beverage or some food, but then the mask right back up. So we were being very responsible. I don't know about everybody else, but I know you and I were. But it was an interesting thing, right? We're watching the game while there's a mariachi band on stage.
There was. They were actually pretty decent, And I saw you. I think you were singing or dancing to.
I mean, I felt like I was in Epcot right there. It's like I'm in the Mexican Pavilion at Epcot. And drinking around the world or something with a Modelo in one hand, but I got Inter Miami on the big screen. I mean, it was pretty cool.
It was a good time, especially because now it looks like they're starting to play well, Peter.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the music background and everything, which was kind of funny. Pizarro played pretty decently, I think. So the Mexican music kind of made sense a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah, it was, the thing about, I'm trying to read some of the comments, but one of the things that, was great about that is I miss you guys. I got to meet a few of our viewers that I've never met before. So thank you for if you came up and said hi to me and Ed, shared a beer, all that. It was a lot of fun.
They all recognize you too. Everybody's going to Peter Brown. They're like, because you're the famous one.
No, because you're always out and about. So people already have seen and met you. I'm like the hermit that only comes out once in a while.
Right. But it was all about Peter Brown, downtown Peter Brown. Everybody's going crazy.
No.
Oh, Peter Brown. Sign this for me, Peter Brown.
Oh yeah, right. That happened. Oh no. But I miss watching the games with friends and friends. And I'm sitting there, they score a goal, I'm jumping up and down. I don't really do that when I'm watching the game at home. I may get loud and my daughter may look at me a little weird because I'm yelling at the TV screen, but I don't jump up and down.
She always looks weird at you because you're the dad,
That's true. I mean, that look is more of a look of embarrassment, though. That's a different look usually. But here, you feel the vibe of the other fans and all that. And it just made me, realize how much I miss watching soccer with a group of people. So it was great to go out to that watch party and hang out with a bunch of you guys. But what stood out to you, Ed, in that game?
Well, something that right now stood out to me in the chat room that I don't appreciate too much is that Futbol is saying, if you could bring that up, Peter Brown is the Batman. Uncle Ed is the Robin? What the? Come on, man. I'm the Robin? Come on, Peter. Come on. Yeah,
well, I like that he put Bat in parentheses because he's basically saying I'm the man, and Batman, right. and you're the Robin.
So yeah, that kind of threw me off, man. Footballer, man. All right, girl.
I mean, I don't know if I could disagree. I don't know if I would disagree with that.
Well, you could be Batman, but I'm more like Superman, Peter. Come on.
Superman.
Yeah.
I could see you sitting there saying all these little catchphrases like, holy metal Batman or whatever he says in different things.
Or I say fiddlesticks all the
time. There you go.
That.
That sounds like a Robin kind of phrase.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah. See, now they're starting to. That Judge Dredd is also saying, indeed, Ed and Peter are the dynamic duo. Oh, great.
Dynamic duo. But what I think? Robin. Well, at least we're not with the Wonder Twins.
Well, that would suck. Yeah.
Because what I remember of Wonder Twins,
then you would be Jan. if that was the case.
No.
Or Gleek, the monkey.
Right. And I remember what always stands out to me is in the cartoon is like it's just one thing. When I remember one episode where they were stuck on one side of the door, and one of them says, power bucket, and the other's power water. And then they like pour he gets poured, or the monkey or the dog, whatever, pours the water under the door, and so he can reanimate and open the door. That's their superhero power. They could turn into water or a bucket.
He could turn or something ice, anything that has to do with water, he would be able to do, and she could turn into any animal. So that was that was in there.
I remember some of the cartoons. It's been a long time. Oh geez, you're not going to like this one. Footballer now says, Uncle Ed, respectfully speaking, which when somebody says that, something disrespectful is about to come.
Oh, I just saw it right now. That's funny.
You come out to me more as Butthead from Beavis and Butthead show. Right? Is that the guy?
No, that's you. That's Beavis.
Oh, Beavis. So I'm the one that sits there and just goes.
Butthead's like, that's Butthead.
And so, which does Butthead wear? The Winger T-shirt? I was never a Beavis and Butthead fan.
The dark-haired guy would be me, and you would be Beavis, who's the Cornholio guy.
I think, isn't he the one that wears the Winger T-shirt, which is the wimpy T-shirt, and the other one wears Metallica, which is the cool, heavy rocking one?
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
You would listen to Winger.
No. I would be the Metallica guy, and you're sitting there listening to like the Smiths, which is the equivalent of, say, a Winger.
Oh, I don't know about that. But anyway, let's get back to soccer, man. We're just
this is more fun. This is more fun, trying to figure out which kind of superheroes we are.
Yeah, well, if we're Beavis and Butthead, those aren't superheroes.
No, they're super duds.
Yeah. So, but let's go back to the soccer.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, what did you think, Peter? I mean, we were watching at least the first half. We were, I think, on fire. The first minute we came out, we scored that goal. They scored immediately after.
Yeah, that was like a letdown. I mean, there was the lack of concentration. They just, they've got to work on that, right?
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, it looked, like they were off guard, and then we were off guard immediately after. We should have been defended a little bit better. But all around that first half, we were playing real good soccer. I saw them, or especially we had a whole bunch of opportunities. I think the first half was a kind of like 50-50 in domination of the ball.
Yeah, I think so.
Which we're usually not dominating the ball at all in any game that we've had previously. So it looked like we were dominating. We at least had the better attacks in the first half. So if we could play like we played in that first half, the rest of the season, I will be happy because they look good. And one thing that we did mention, we had Agudelo as the forward, and we were wondering why, because you said, well, Robinson's not in there. Pizarro, Carranza wasn't there either.
So. Yeah, there was a report that came out from our buddy Frankie Panizo. He put out on Twitter that as far as Pizarro coming out, he felt fatigue, and then Carranza apparently is out for 1 to 2 weeks with another injury. He's injured his ankle, which wasn't that the injury before ankle? Yeah,
I think he had something. Yeah, and that one took a while though.
Yeah, this is only 1 or 2 weeks, so he's out, and then Robinson felt ill late this week, and so he didn't even travel. So we were shorthanded on that in that forward position. That's why when we first saw the lineup, we were kind of like, what's Agudelo doing as the lone forward up top? I think Agudelo. This has been somewhat controversial, I think, with some of our viewers, and also with again going back with Franco Panizo. I seen some definitely Twitter arguments with him. Franco is a big proponent of Agudelo, and some people disagree. I know that Eric Thomas is one of those people that disagrees vehemently. That he's been a loser. He's not. I was going to say he's been a loser, but he has not worked out anywhere, but now we think he's going to work out here. But, we didn't really have a choice. They had to put him in. He had to play. And I don't know, Ed, I think Franco might have a point in that he's looking good. I don't know if I don't necessarily want him as my lone striker option, which thankfully Higuain is coming in and that'll be resolved. But he's been looking good, in the midfield. He works well in small spaces and just keeping the ball alive and making quick passes. So I think Agudelo played really well.
I agree with you, Peter. He looked good, especially in the first half. In the second half, it looked like he was running out of gas.
Yes.
He was like not making the runs. As there was some opportunity. I think you even mentioned it. Yes. He's like, look, he like gave up before he even tried to go get that ball. And I was like, yeah. He looked like he was tired, but and then I was like, they need to sub him out, but they didn't have anybody to sub him out with.
Right. Let's go back to the chat room real quick, because this is important. Uncle Ed is the Black Widow, according to Spanish Bull.
Whoa. Why the Black Widow?
I don't know.
People are just picking on me.
Is that picking on you because they're calling you a girl, or is that because she's a badass girl and you're,
I guess I'm a badass girl. Is that what you're saying, Peter?
I mean, you could take the girl part out and just take the positives, or it depends on how you choose to look at it, Ed.
Right. Well, look, somebody's saying that Metallica rocks. One World, One Gold is saying that, Metallica rocks. That's your favorite bands. So,
hey, here's a question Eric Thomas is asking, because we were just talking about him. Eric Thomas is asking, question for the masses. You guys prefer Agudelo at left mid or Shea at left mid? Because the striker position is now obviously taken. So Shea has been the player that, and somebody else commented that somewhere else I saw there was a comment that he's the player that nobody wanted, but he's been such a bright spot. I remember when they announced Shea, so many people were just like, why? What the hell? What are we doing? And my stance on Shea was just that, hey, it's for depth. No big deal. I didn't see that I didn't think he would start. I expected him to come in when somebody's injured or somebody's tired in the late and second half.
Super sub, yeah.
Right. May not see a ton of game time, but he's reliable and can help out in a pinch. That's where I thought he was going to fit in. But lo and behold, he's become a starter, and he's been one of the best players on the field. Not only because he scored the goal this week, but just that he's been outstanding with a lot of his he likes to do these little back heels to people and keeping the play alive. He's very creative. He's moving the ball quick.
Holds on to the ball very well. He's I saw him doing incredible job, man. This is what his second goal already. Nobody expects him to score, but he's doing it.
Right.
He's stepping up.
Right. And so going back to Eric's question, Ed, who would you put in, Agudelo or Shea?
I've got this creative idea. Now, on the left, I haven't been very convinced with it's Sweat, who's usually on the left, right?
Yeah.
In the back. Because anything that's on the left side, Breck could play. And I've seen a lot of, especially in South America, a lot of players, they're playing defensive, but they run up and, they join in the attack. Why couldn't Breck do the same thing? I'm thinking he could, with Agudelo maybe also on the left side, since he likes playing on that side, or they put him on that side. They could make a pretty good team, I think, right there, man. On a whole left side, because we're already covered on the right, with Morgan. Morgan looks great. He's probably one of the most regular players that we have. I'm happy with Morgan. Nobody's going to take that spot. But over here, let's get creative on the left, man. I'm thinking something creative like that might happen. Because the reason more than anything is because I like the way that Agudelo's been playing, at least for the first half. He's holding on to the ball, making great passes to Pizarro as well. And Matuidi. Let's talk about Matuidi for a little bit, man.
Yeah, there was a point in the game where I started asking myself. I started saying, I was battling with myself a little bit in that. So I remember when they signed Matuidi, I didn't know a ton about him. I'd seen him play a little bit, but I didn't know a ton about him. And everything I read about him was saying that, look, don't expect what he does to show up huge on stats. I mean, he's not going to score a bunch of goals. He's going to do things quietly. He's going to do the things that don't necessarily end up on the stat sheet so much, but he's going to be very valuable. He's going to make everybody else around him better. And so I started looking at that and thinking, is he living up to that? Because there's some times where he's just not really all that involved. And then I started focusing on him a little bit more. And what I started to notice is that sometimes he loves to play that ball right one touch, real fast. He just likes to move it quickly. Sometimes he's just not on the same page yet as the rest of the team. Sometimes I think he's just too good for those people around him. They're just not. They're not. He'll make a pass to. It looks like a great forward pass to somebody, through pass to somebody that's running up, but maybe they stop their run, or they just don't quite get there. It's just I think his vision, what he's thinking about doing, is really, really good, and he does it quick, and he moves the ball really, really quick. So I think, I started, just like I said, I was having this inward debate by myself, and at the end I came to just thinking that when they start to learn how to connect a little bit better, man, they're going to look great with him in there. I mean, he's definitely settling it down. Hey, look, I mean, he's definitely been better than the Trapp Uoa combination, right?
Yeah, and I was surprised when they did. I thought Trapp was going to be the one I was going to play, but right. Uyoa is the one that's playing now. I saw the way that I saw it, Peter. It looks like Matuidi was able to recover a lot of balls in his area. I think we could play with just him as a defensive midfielder, and maybe push another player up. That's something that I used to think about when we had Lee Nguyen. That they need more forward somebody to be like the Batman and Robin with Pizarro. And I thought Lee Nguyen was perfect for that, and I feel pretty confident that if Matuidi would have to, he could probably play as the lone defensive midfielder if they need to ever do that and think a little more forward.
Yeah. I think Matuidi's. I'm just reading some of the comments as you were talking. Chris Menendez says he can't wait for Matuidi to link up with Higuain. They know each other. They've played with each other. That's going to be a great matchup, right? I mean, they should be able to link up great.
They know each other. They played before. I've seen some passes that Matuidi has given to Higuain where he scored. Mm-hmm. So Pipita is I think he's gonna tear it up, and especially with Pizarro. Hopefully they have good chemistry. Yeah. The team's starting to play well. Now we're starting to get points. Now we're starting to win games. They're scoring less goals on us as well. That's something that's very important. So I'm hoping we finally got, we're finally getting things set, and we're going to be able to get some more wins. And like this could be the day, or the next game could be the game where we get 2 in a row.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to something you had said before, because I didn't really comment on it, but I'm thinking about it. Is you were saying you would take Ben Sweat out and put Brek Shea in that position, and then keep Agudelo where in that left mid.
Ben's been playing better now, though. But I remember we did a show where you wanted him out.
Yeah. I did a whole video where I said that he must go, or but Sweat must go, but. He's played so much better. He is definitely one of the most improved players on this team. I don't want him to sit. I think, if we're talking, now we're saying, I want to keep, if I was making that decision between Shea and Agudelo, I'm keeping Shea. Even though I think Agudelo is doing better. Right. Even though we know Eric Thomas won't agree with me. But as I'm reading some of the chats, but I would keep Sweat in there. And something to note also is that Reyes, who picked up a yellow, kind of a silly yellow in the game, that means a yellow accumulation, if you will. He's out Wednesday, so we're gonna see a different. And that's somebody we should talk about a little bit. Is, are we convinced with Reyes, because he's good, but he makes some rookie kind of mistakes. I mean, he gets himself into weird positions where he ends up doing 2 own goals. And yesterday he was close to being in one of those kind of awkward positions that could have cost a goal. It was, I forget the exact play, but it was like, oh man, that was close. You could have. I mean, he was in that same kind of weird spot that he finds himself in, or makes some like unnecessary fouls at times. I think he's been pretty good, but we're going to actually get to see somebody else starting in his spot. Who would you put in Reyes' spot?
I think Torres is probably going to be the one that's going to start right there. He hasn't played for a little while, and it's because Reyes has he's stepped up and he's done pretty well. But at the same time, maybe this game that he won't be able to play is going to be good for him. He'll be able to, collect himself and, look at the mistakes that he's done, and hopefully he'll come back better. If not, Roman might be able to take his position. Roman's got the experience for it, definitely. I think that's probably the natural pick, because that's who the coach likes.
Yeah.
For some reason, they haven't called up AJ de la Garza. I would want to see him because he's a good player. He's just wasting away there. He's not even putting him on as a sub.
All right.
He's not even being put on the bench. So that worries me a little bit, because he's a quality player and he's been sitting it out. Maybe with this, he's going to get to sit on the bench at least. Hopefully he'll be able to play some minutes, because he's wasting away, and we all know he's a great player.
Yep.
So coach needs to give him a chance.
Yeah, Eric Thomas is kind of saying, echoing some of what I was saying. Andres is too raw and overly aggressive, but he has potential to be a great center back. So that's obviously why he's playing, based on potential. They see something there.
He's also, a Colombia national team player. I think he's already had a cap or 2. Okay. So he's probably the future of Colombian defenders. I think he's on loan with us. He actually. I think he played in Medellin, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I think, if I'm not wrong, I think he played for Nacional, because I think I saw somewhere where they said he played for the other Medellin team. I always forget the
Independiente.
Independiente. Yeah, everybody I know there follows Nacional.
Yeah, they're the bigger team, I think.
Yeah. And I think he played on I think he sat on the bench at Nacional. I think that's
his
last
and the
club.
Funny thing is, somebody had told me that they actually need a defender, so they probably would have wanted him back. But it's too late. They already gave him to us. But there's a possibility next season they're probably going to ask him back, because he's playing well. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he's a future national team player. So, this might be the only year we have him.
So according to Footballer, Diego Garcia is craving for our attention. Make his day already. I don't know what he's craving for, but he did write ? AJ de la Garza?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You know what? I think AJ is one of those players that you could see in a situation just like with Lee Win, where Lee Win is part of the reason why he's not here anymore. He, from what I understand, pushed for the move to get out of Miami to help, because he's not playing, and he thought he still had some good playing time. So if you're not going to play me, let me go type of situation. And they found a situation that worked out for both sides. So I think you could see something similar with AJ de la Garza. If he's not going to play him, what's the point of having him on the bench? You could see him pushing for a release as well. But I'll be honest, just looking at the substitutions and stuff, I don't think they're going to put AJ into the lineup on Wednesday.
Right.
I mean, they put in Torres at the end of this game, and so I think that's who plays, like you were talking about. And I think that's who plays on Wednesday. I don't think it's AJ. Yeah. I don't know. You wonder sometimes why a coach doesn't play somebody that everybody sees the talent, right? Everybody knows that Lee Win was so good, and when he got on the field,
he made a difference.
It made a difference. He connected well, Pizarro, everything, but yet the coach would never play him. So what is it? Is it a personality conflict? Is it the guy doesn't train well? And I I find that, I mean, we met AJ. He was on one of our earlier shows. He was a great guest.
We thought definitely he'd be a starter. Remember, we're like,
we thought
we've got a good guy here.
We thought he'd be a starter, and also he doesn't come across to me as somebody who's maybe like a lazy practicer. He didn't come across that way. Now, I'm not there, but I mean, he doesn't come across that way. I think he's probably giving it his all as much as he can. So, you know,
it's definitely something that the coach, he's got a view of, how his people should be, or, what his players should be like. And there's something that he's just not giving him a chance. And that sucks because we know he's a great player.
I'm just laughing because off camera, my daughter is offering me like tater tots. I'm shaking my head like, no, not now.
That's nice. That's nice.
What are you doing? Not now. I'm busy here. But now that I've talked about it, I'm like, you could bring it back.
I know. I thought about it. I was like, well, I wouldn't mind some tater tots.
I'll eat a tater tot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Eric Thomas says he wants a proof of life video of AJ De La Garza and Alvis Powell. Hey, look, I'm okay with Alvis Powell not playing. I don't think he was that great in the preseason when he played, and didn't he play a little bit in one of the first 2 games?
He did. He didn't do too well, but then I think he got hurt, and he's been he's been not playing since. So
yeah,
I don't know if he's better now. The one thing that the team I don't see very often is like injury reports, and the way we find out about injuries and stuff with the team is through our friend Franco Paniza, who's he's always on top of that stuff. But I don't see any place on the team that says where they put when the players are hurt or when they're suspended. I don't find out till game day.
Yeah. So apparently Diego Garcia was asking about, I'm reading through some comments, explain to why we can't go to the stadium. So why they're not allowing fans in the stands.
No, from what I've heard, it's a Broward County thing. Because if you've noticed, I think the Dolphins, was it the Dolphins, or at the stadium they had a couple people already.
Dolphins,
in there.
I think, had 13,000 somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right. So it depends on on the county at this point. If they don't approve it, they're still trying to be cautious, and we understand that. It might be a good thing, but we're all crossing our fingers that maybe they'll approve it soon, and we'll be able to get a couple games in. Because, man, I'm telling you, I miss being at a stadium. I miss singing the songs, and it's still not going to be the same because I'm sure it's not going to be a lot of people that are going to go in. I think tickets are going to go quick because people are going to go. They're going to want to go to the stadium, especially the supporters. There's a lot of us that want to go and support, and I think in Orlando they had 25% of the fans were able to get in. So, and that was what? How big was the stadium? 25,000, I think.
Orlando, I think, is somewhere in the 18 to 20,000 range. I think it's basically the same, similar size as to what we have.
Okay. So, that's going to be like 5,000-6,000 people, maybe, that we'll be able to get in the stadium.
So me apparently talking about tater tots got a lot of discussion going on about food. Eric Thomas apparently just had some White Castle, so this is very important to the conversation.
Oh, wow. I haven't had White Castle in a long time because that's all northeast type of stuff.
There used to be a White Castle in Miami when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure, but I don't think I ever had it. We've got Crystals down here, which is similar. I don't know if it's the same. I don't know if how that would compare to White Castle. Have you ever had Crystals, Ed?
No, I haven't.
Okay, they're the same kind of thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so people they're hungry. They had a dream about Burger King. Says one world, one goal, which just makes Eric talk about our guest from last week because he had a Burger King shirt. It's funny last week's guest. We had quite a lot of comments on the after the fact, after the video for the replay. And he was definitely polarizing. A lot of people kind of complaining that we gave him any kind of time of day, thinking he's a troll and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it makes for an interesting person to talk to. I mean, I'm okay with somebody that's a little bit out there, but some of the conversations got a little bit heated. I had to delete one because it got a little like violent, ugly, and personal. And yeah. Don't do that on our YouTube comments, guys. Keep it fun. You can go at each other a little bit, but like there were some that were going at each other, but it wasn't too bad, so left it. But there was one that it went too far, so I had to delete a chat. But yeah, so have fun in the chats, but okay, hang on a second. Footballer is asking, Peter, I suggest you consider making your show a 3-person show, and if you can include a knowledgeable football woman, even better.
Wow.
All right, we're not enough for Footballer. We're not entertaining him enough.
Oh, well, and, he wants a lady that's very good at sports. We're going to have to find somebody, man.
That's not a bad idea, though. I mean, I'm not saying, we have to do a 3-way show every single week, but it's not a bad idea to have a female's perspective and maybe one that played. Like I like what Caitlin Kyle is bringing to the sideline reporting for Inter Miami. Yeah. She's, quite often, and this could sound wrong, but it's sometimes true. Sometimes the sideline reporters at MLS games or any games sometimes are young, attractive interns, right? They're just young.
They don't know much of the game.
Don't know a whole lot of the game, right? They're attractive. They can ask a coach a couple questions, and that's about it. I mean, obviously at the higher level, at the NFL, those are like full-on reporters. I mean, they know what they're talking about, and they're good. But a lot of times in the soccer, it's like it's just someone who doesn't have the soccer knowledge necessarily. But they've got the face for TV. She's got both, right? She's a beautiful young woman, but I love what she brings to the broadcast. She really can.
She knows. She played. She knows
at a high level.
Yeah.
She played in Orlando too, so she could talk about the city and talk about that organization as well. But I like how she's on the sideline and she will call it as a player and really it gives a good perspective. So yeah, that'd be fun. Well, let's get her on the show.
Yeah, we'll try to get her on the show. See how that goes. She's probably going to show us a thing or two about soccer. So.
Oh, I mean, look, I am not. I will say, as far as doing these shows, I'm not an analyst. I don't know. I mean, I miss stuff all the time when I'm watching, especially if I'm watching with you guys, and all that. I just love the game and I have fun with it, and so and I have opinions. That's all it is. I'm just a fan like you guys are, but. Yeah, she could definitely show me a thing or two. She could run. Imagine, we've played a few. I've played a few like media games, like these media soccer games. Sometimes you end up in. I played in a few of them. Someone like her, I mean, she would just school you, right? Yeah,
run circles around you. That's for sure.
It's like the story I love to tell about when I was playing against Zinho. He was on the field, and so was Fernando Clavijo. So I mean, these are two people that have played in World Cups, right? And Zinho, a Brazilian World Cup player, midfielder, who was at the time the coach of Miami FC, he's like hurt and he's hobbling.
And I think he was wearing jeans at the time.
He's wearing jeans
because he wasn't going to play, but then he decided, I want to play.
He's wearing jeans. He's hobbling, and he still goes around me because I was defending him. And I just laugh like.
Yeah, because he was hurt. I remember he was wobbling. He was like, but he wanted to play so much, and that's really cool. You see these soccer players nowadays. They'll fall down and they barely get touched, and it's like it's murder or something. And when you see players like Zinho, for example, who he's hurt and he still wants to play, he's in a different level, man. It's totally different.
Hey, Footballer says, I did not mean that both of you are not entertaining. Otherwise, I would not be here. I'm just joking, Footballer. I'm just joking. I like to make fun of myself a lot. So if you say something, I'm going to go and poke fun at us. And One World, One Goal says, "Oh, is that a request for me?" There you go. We may have to bring on One World, One Goal a couple times here and there.
Yeah, so she can tell us how it's going. Yeah, but have her female perspective.
She knows she's been around South Florida for a long time and the game.
Since the Fusion days we've known her.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Here, Eric agrees. Says, "There you go. There you guys go. Ed and Peter bring in the world. She's very smart and knowledgeable about soccer and gives great insight on South Florida soccer." Judge Dredd the Law says, "Knowledgeable woman for football? One World. They need you now." Man,
okay, we're gonna.
It's like she's gonna have to put on her cape and come rescue us now. The way he wrote that.
That's for sure, man.
Oh, but she says, "Oh, hang on." She says, "We can't handle her, Ed."
Oh, goodness.
I mean, there's no handling. It's just let's joke around.
Well, just talk soccer. But Peter, let's start talking about. There's a game coming up.
I'm having fun with the
the reason why you had that title. Can we get 2 wins in a row?
Yes. Hey, maybe we should do this, Ed. Before we go too far down that rabbit hole, we do have a voicemail.
Oh, check it out.
Let's check that out. 'Cause I'm not sure if he touches on anything there, but let's take a listen to this.
Hello, this is the Reese Brothers from Plantation, Florida. Plantation is it's kind of out there by Broward. It's in Broward by Fort Lauderdale, a little bit west. What do I got there that you would know? I think we have a Publix over there. That's about it. But anyway, I just want to give you my thoughts. Inter Miami won tonight over Atlanta 2-1. And I think the core of the team is actually pretty good now. You have some really good players now in the starting lineup with Tweedy, Pizarro, Brock Shea actually looks good. I hope that he starts from now on over on that left side. Lewis Morgan is gaining confidence every week. And now we know we just need that striker, and we can have one now. I hope that next week do you guys know when Higuain's first game is going to be? I hope it is Wednesday. I know he just signed the contract a couple of days ago, but he's been in Miami over a week now, I think. So hopefully he'll be able to play very shortly. But I do like it. Some of the other players are also good. I think Ben Sweat is okay here and there. Will Trapp is okay here and there. I do like Figal also. I'd actually put him in the group that I would like to keep on the team moving forward. Reyes is one player I am not convinced of so far. So hopefully they seem to have 3 defenders a lot of times, and I don't know why they use 3 center backs. They could play 4-4. Well, we're getting into the minutia of the things, but I won't get into tactics and stuff like that right now. But anyway, I thought it was really funny that you guys brought up Flight 19 on the show the other day. I was actually laughing pretty hard. By the way, this isn't really the Reese Brothers. It's Ed Serrano. Bye.
What I love about that's Ted, by the way, and what I love about his calls is there's so many inside jokes there. It's
right.
Like, he'll call himself Paboni or he'll call himself Reese Brothers, and most people that are in this chat have no clue who he's talking about, but it makes us laugh because those are soccer fans of South Florida soccer fans for years. Some still around, some stuck in their old ways, and not still around more or less. But yeah, so it sounds like people still want One World, One Goal, and Eric has one quick request: is that One World, can you please wear a Wendy's T-shirt?
There you go.
Last week's guest wore Burger King, so she needs to wear a Wendy's T-shirt. So we were talking about, and if anybody has any other voicemails or something they want to leave, go ahead. 786-474-4435. And you can leave them anytime during the week, whenever you have a thought. If you just watched the game and you want to leave it to me when it's hot and fresh in your mind, do it. And we will
we'll put it on. Well, it's kind of funny, Peter, how he was the Reese brothers, and then somehow he became me.
Yeah.
So I don't remember leaving that message. So
no.
We definitely know it's Ted Sagaski, who, by the way, I think he's a vegetarian. I once invited him over to my place, and all I could give him to eat was quesadillas.
What's wrong with him?
Yeah, he doesn't eat meat. So, it's a lifestyle choice, I guess. But the good thing, he likes soccer.
Yeah, I mean, no meat. I mean, come on now. I mean, we're talking Wendy's, we're talking Pollo Tropical now here, and he's not going to eat any of that.
None of that. So.
All right. I'm just going through the chats. I'm usually behind on the chats because I'm trying to look at the camera as well, but. There's lots of food talk going on.
Well, yesterday we were at that place, Tequila Station, who Israel is saying is putting there. How you doing, Israel? It was different, wasn't it? It was kind of, what it kind of reminded me of? Somebody brought it up. This place looks like someplace back in the Al Pacino days, from that one movie that he made.
It reminded me, and I said this to you, is that place reminded me of some of the old rock clubs I went to back in the day. Because, you think of a rock club as like maybe the Button South or something like that, which, pretty fairly big bar. But they weren't all like that. Sometimes they were like half restaurant, half big dance floor, and a little stage in the corner. Kind of, like Rosebuds was this tiny little stage. And the stage is a little beat up looking, but it's functional, and it just has that kind of vibe to me that it reminded me of my old days going to watch some bands play. In this case, we were watching a band. We were watching a mariachi band play. So.
Yeah, you were dancing, man. I remember seeing you dance for a little bit.
I don't think you. Oh, yeah, you're not wrong, Ed. Because look, I don't dance. But I could do that dance that all these people were doing to this Mexican, music that was being played. Because they're all, you brought it to my attention. They're all doing this kind of running thing. The dance was this. It's like they're running.
It was, yeah.
I mean, I could do that. Anybody could run. That's all they were doing.
That's all it was. It was easy. Yeah.
I mean, I could do that. I can't do anything with my feet. But I can pretend like I'm running.
Unless you're playing soccer.
But even then, I'm not any good. I just like the sport. I'm not any good at it. But let's see. More comments. They're talking about one world, one goal. You have apparently you have the bat phone, and one world, one goal says they do have a direct line to the Bat Cave. I don't know why we're back to Batman again, Ed.
Yeah.
So that makes you Robin again.
I guess so, man. I'm just gonna have to wear them tights and and deal with that,
Think about which Robin are you though? Because Robin eventually becomes Nightwing. He's pretty cool.
I'll be that one, definitely.
That's the Dick Grayson version.
Dick Grayson, yeah.
Right. So he eventually becomes Nightwing, and Nightwing's not bad.
Right. And then there's two other guys.
And he
Jason Todd, who gets killed by Joker.
Yeah.
But then he comes back as the Red Hood.
Yeah.
So he somehow survived. That's a long story.
Has anybody watched? We still have to talk about Red Bulls. We only have like a few minutes left. But have you watched the DC Universe show Titans?
Oh yeah.
It's really good.
It's good. I like it.
I watch it. I don't have a subscription to DC Universe, but whenever I'm in Colombia, it's on Netflix. Because it's on Netflix in Colombia. So I'll watch it when I'm in, and I'll catch up. So I'll watch like a whole season while I'm there in Colombia. But anyways, we have to talk about the upcoming game. Red Bull, they lost to Cincinnati this weekend, so they're beatable, right? And currently, let's see if I can pull up the stats right here. Currently, Red Bull is sitting in 8th place, and we're below the line in 11th place. But I mean, the difference between point-wise is, we're at 11 points and Red Bull's at 14, right? Well, one more win, and we're right there at 14 points. So we could jump quite a bit, right? If we win,
it's doable.
And so, another stat that I had looked at was that Red Bull in their last 6 games has won 1 game. That's it. So they're another wounded animal, right? Kind of like in Atlanta. So they're ripe for the picking. We're playing them here in Lockhart. So I know a lot of fans are going to be at Lockhart. Are you gonna go to Lockhart on Wednesday evening?
Unfortunately, I have to work, man. Otherwise, I'd be there. But man, I'm pulling for them. I'll be definitely watching. Trying to watch without being seen at work. But we've got an opportunity of beating them. They just lost a game, so let's hope we can maintain that unbeaten streak here at home and get that win. We need this. We need those points. Then we'll be in the mid-table.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to the table right here. Our season has not been what we wanted, right? It's not what we thought it was going to be. But we're not
all the high expectations that we had.
But we're not that far out of it because a lot of teams are making the playoffs this year. They made it easier to get into the playoffs. We could definitely get there. They just have to win some of these games. And so we've got Red Bull that's in the 8th slot that we're playing, and then Philadelphia on the weekend, which is in the 4th spot. So they're obviously a lot more difficult, and we've already played them, and it was a tough game. I mean, we saw them in preseason up close. They're a tough opponent. So you got to definitely have to win that Red Bull game because who knows about the Union game? That's going to be a much more difficult game.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
But when will we see Higuain? Could we see him on Wednesday? I don't think so. But could we see him on the weekend? Because, we know he has to do his 2 weeks, his 14 days of quarantine. But he's already been here for over a week.
Right. I think by Saturday he might be eligible to play. So
right.
As much as I'd like for him to be here, playing on Wednesday at our home, but yeah, I think Saturday's more realistic.
Do you think we would see him on Saturday? As soon as Matuidi was available, they shoved him in there. Even if he doesn't get a lot of practice time with the team, they might just put him out there and just see what he can do just off of instinct.
I think they should put him out there. I would not mind them putting him out there because he's still gonna, open up the field for everybody else. They're gonna be, keeping their eye on this guy. They know he comes, with a lot of experience. They know he can score goals, so he's gonna drag a lot of defenses with him. Well, if he can drag an extra defense with him, and it'll open up the play for the rest of the other guys.
Right, absolutely. So, I mean, hopefully he can play. I do know that there was some sort of holdup with his paperwork, his legal stuff, and that's something, we could talk to Federico about. So there was something that was holding that up. And Judge Dredd, he feels that Gonzalo will show up during the weekend match. So maybe he doesn't start, maybe he does start, but he's thinking maybe he is actually would be allowed to get out onto the field. Hopefully so. Hopefully his legal stuff is all taken care of. And Jet Pancake said a few minutes back that he's confident we will slide into the playoffs. But the only way to do that is to win against the teams that you feel like you need to. And I think this last game was, I know that the coach said a couple of games ago where we lost was our most complete game. And I didn't agree. This was our most complete game. They were entertaining. They moved the ball around a lot. They won. They're definitely looking a lot better right now. Things are starting to gel. Players that we didn't think would be stars are showing up as stars. Shea, people we thought were going to be stars. Pellegrini, not so much. I mean, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but we may have to start questioning is Pellegrini's DP material, because right now I'm saying no. So let's have this conversation about Pellegrini later in the year. And is there a renegotiation of his contract that needs to happen to bring him down below the DP? Because I don't know. I could go off on that, but I think we need to see him a little bit more. But we got to win this weekend's game.
We got to do it this week.
Wednesdays we have to win, and then this weekend's game we would need Higuain the most in that Philly game.
Definitely.
All right, Ed, I think we got to wrap it up. I know you have another meeting you have to get to. I do want to mention one more time to go to call Federico Vargas at vargaslaw.com. Any questions you might have about the immigration law, contact him. He'll give you a free consultation. Mention that you saw it on or heard about it on Football Miami TV. You will be entered into a drawing for the opportunity to win a authentic Inter Miami jersey. We're not saying if it's a black or the white because, hey, maybe we'll let you pick. But we will be giving that away, and we will that jersey will come from Caneswear. We will the way it's going to work is it's a three-way thing. You know, we're Football Miami TV's giving you something, but we're gonna try to drive some people to our sponsors, and so everybody wins, hopefully. So do that. And Ed, we've got a Spanish show this week.
Yeah, on Tuesday. Don't miss me. We'll be talking in Espanol, a preview of the game. So we'll definitely talk to you guys then. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Football Miami TV with your friends. And I think that's it, Peter Brown.
All right, one last thing. It says Ed has a meeting with the Justice League.
Or the Titans in some of the Robin.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're not allowed at that big table. Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks a lot for everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next week.